Get out the way. Who got a watch? Who got the time? I'm racing the clock. Even in my feelings, grind don't stop. Got big.
Hi, Bracha. Welcome to Mature Allure.
Hello, happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. You are going to talk about your publishing company, which I can't wait to hear more about. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, well, I'm the author of 41, I say, books that help children's souls to shine. That's
Mhm.
what they all have in common. And then just one book for adults, that's my memoir. It's the story of my journey to joy, really. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you have a publishing house, and it's called Goetz Bookshop and Publishing House. Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, I don't exactly have the publishing company. What happened is I published like about 40 of my books were published and and I used like traditional publishers were publishing my books. And then I wrote a book during the pandemic called Let's Stay Healthy because people were asking for a book. They said their children were, just eating junk, not exercising, not going to sleep, and write a book about why those things are important. So I wrote Let's Stay Healthy. And when I wrote the manuscript, I showed it to my children, and my youngest son and his wife, they said, please don't send this manuscript out to a publisher. We want to now become your publishing company. We want to start a publishing company. And she was a preschool teacher and he's a first grade teacher. So
Mhm.
they both are into helping young children. And they began the publishing company and I kind of work for them.
Ah.
It's now our family business and their children are involved too. So we're all working together in this publishing company.
Well, see,
Yeah.
that's really great because then you're not putting it out there for someone else to kind of wait around on them to decide how they want to market you, when they want to publish it, when they want it to be out and to be purchased.
Yes.
So it's good to have your own publishing company and within the family. So I know you do children's books because you mentioned you have 41 children's books, but does the publishing company only publish children's books?
So far, they're only published, well, they published my memoir. We got the memoir back. We're trying to get as many books as we can back from the publishers so they can republish them. We now got the memoir back and they just published that. And so far, they're publishing new children's books and some of my older ones. So far, they're only doing my books, but other people are now contacting them. Can you take on our books, other books? And their answer is yes, but we're not ready yet. We're still learning the ropes about publishing. And we also do like a lot of presentations, places. We're on the road. We're having like an amazing time together. It's been incredible. But so far, they're not ready yet to take on other people's manuscripts, but they hope to in the future.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, tell us a little bit about your children's books because I saw an article about you. And one of the questions was, what are the key elements that make a children's book work? So tell us what those are and a little bit about your books.
Okay. The main thing is joy.
Mm,
We need more joy in this world. So, my books, the aim of my books is to teach children happiness skills as early in life as possible. We all need it, but we learn it later on in life and we play catch up. I
hmm.
want if children can learn it early on, then their whole lives, they'll have the skills to have more joyful lives forever. So that's been my goal. Even when, even when I don't do it so obviously, that's the underlying theme in all my books. Now, like I have books about prevention of abuse. The strangest thing is that these safety books are my most popular of all my books. You would never think like the prevention of abuse, but it is. Hundreds of thousands of copies are in homes now. And I get calls about how they've saved lives because children are learning prevention skills. It's like being inoculated. You know, when you have the awareness beforehand, the dangers, well, you're
Mhm.
able to avoid dangers much more easily. And I have books about let's swim safely, books about disabilities, like teaching children more about other children that have disabilities so they can feel more comfortable interacting. Like they've never even been given the guidelines, so they don't know how to interact. Like, for instance, it's normal for a child to stare at a child with a physical disability,
Mhm.
but if they also, there's another 5-letter word that also begins with S, like stare, and that word is smile. If they add their
Mhm.
smile, they can stare and smile, and they build a bridge, they build connection. It changes everything. So I teach basic guidelines. What do you do if another child is deaf or in a wheelchair? Sit down at the same level so you're not standing above them. These are just basic skills throughout the book. And then children are more comfortable because usually children with disabilities are the loneliest children. They don't get invited to play dates and parties as much as everyone else. So, and then I have 2 books about healthy eating, how amazing our fruits and vegetables are. Like we don't realize how incredible they are. You know, like I'm just giving one example, my favorite, an orange.
Mhm.
It's green when it's all the fruit are green because they're camouflaged by the leaves until they're ready. And
Mhm.
then when they're ready, I'm ready, they call because they become bright and beautiful. That's how they call to us. So they're beautiful to look at. They smell beautiful. And then, like with an orange, you know, they're individually packaged, the fruit. That's
Mhm.
how we got the idea. Like a pear, a peach, a plum. You just can pick it up and take it. And the orange has the peel. It keeps the sweet juiciness in for months.
Mm. Mhm.
And then when you finish it, you're left with the seeds. The seeds are the seeds of eternity. They can become an infinite amount of trees, an infinite amount of
Mhm.
oranges if they go back into the earth as they were meant to be. So it's an amazing thing. And you contrast that with an orange flavored tangy taffy. So, like, even the wrapper pollutes the environment as opposed to the orange peel, which is good for the soil. And like it's a pleasure for just 1 second while it's in your mouth,
Mhm.
and then it's actually creating harm. It's no longer doing good stuff for us. So I love teaching children the whys and to have a better awareness and appreciation for all these natural gifts in this amazing garden that we're
Yeah.
in.
So what age range do you write for?
Yeah, so some of my books are board books. So those
Mhm.
are for age like 1 month up because they're pictures of other little babies and children that they look at. Because I wanted, see the world through joyful eyes from the beginning of life. So the books start really for a 1 month old.
Mhm.
And I would say, so it's designed to like age 6 for the picture books, like
Mhm.
ages 3 to 6. The board books are like 1 month to 3 years old. And then the picture books are like 3 years to 6. But the thing is, like with your book, I saw your beautiful book, Sherry.
Mhm.
You got this too. The books are for every age up to 120 because you write in a way, the whole idea is to write in a way so that the parents enjoy reading the books to the children too. So
Mm-hmm.
what people don't realize, but you probably realize this, Sherry, is that ch- children's books are the only books that every single age gets to read, because the tiny children read it,
Mm-hmm.
and the adults read it to the children, and grandparents read it, elderly people read it, and even teenagers. They've contacted me. They read it when no one's looking. They read the books that are lying around, So it reaches everybody. The important messages, like in your book too, these messages go very deep into the soul early on in life. So children's books are so important.
They
Yeah.
are important. And like you said, everyone reads it at all ages and everyone picks up the lesson. Even though when you're younger, you may have, I mean, as you're older, you read it, you're seeing that lesson and it's like a refresher or something that you're saying to yourself, you know what? I forgot about that. This is good that I'm, teaching this, or it's something that's in my subconscious that I haven't really paid much attention to. So you're right. It's for all ages. Bottom
Yes.
line, it's for all ages. So
Yes.
when you do your books, do you illustrate as well, or you work with an illustrator?
Right. So I'm an arty kind of person and I love to draw, but I have never yet written a book that I felt I could illustrate well enough. So hopefully in the future. But as of now, the publishing companies used to pick their illustrators. Sometimes they would ask me to find an illustrator, and now we do it. We work together with my children and we find the illustrators, and it's so awesome. I think you
Mm-hmm.
found this too, Sherry. You work back and forth. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even matter where in the world the illustrator is, because through the computer, we just work back and forth till we get each page exactly as we want it. And it's
Absolutely.
such a creative, enjoyable process. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was fun when I was working on mine, and I still have all of the, because it's supposed to be part of a series. So I did the first one, and I will eventually move on to the others. But like you said, it's actually really fun putting it together and creating the characters and their look, their color. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
So it's a fun experience. Um, Now, when people go to your online to look at the different books you have, what are some of the ways in which they can purchase these books? Like the
Right.
form.
So, right. So the three basic ways, they're in bookstores, really all over the world. No, not so much all over the world. My children have been concentrating on America, mainly in
Mhm.
America. But the other publishers have my books all over the world. So my children haven't gotten there yet. They haven't made contacts in the other countries yet, but all my other books are in many countries. And some have been translated into other languages too. And so they're available in bookstores, they're available on Amazon, and they're all available on the new website, the getsbookshop.com.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. And they can purchase them in different formats. They can do the hard copy, right? And they can also download it to listen. Okay.
Some
Some of
books are audio, right?
okay.
The newest book, actually, my children made into an audio book. It's all experimenting. They're also trying animations now too. They're
Hmm.
very creative people. We're working together. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. So do you guys do fun offerings and special activities like book signings? Let's say meet the authors, readings, that sort of thing?
Yes, we just came back from a trip to Florida. We had so much fun together. Oh my gosh. So I flew in and they did a road trip. They live in Houston, Texas, and I flew down from Baltimore, and we went to a bunch of different venues and we
Ooh,
had an amazing time. We did presentations for adults about my memoir, and we did presentations for children with the children's book. So it was incredible. Yeah, and
well,
we also had a blast, right?
that's good. That's good. You gotta have fun. You gotta have
Yeah.
fun. So, what would you suggest to someone who's interested in not just children's books, but writing a book, period?
Yeah,
Like what do you suggest?
such important things. I want to say two really important things. One is I tell people it takes 20 years and 20 minutes to write a children's book. So many people have ideas for books in their head. It just takes 20 minutes to get a draft, get that first draft down on paper.
Hmm.
What you've been walking around with for 20 years, just get it down and don't take it seriously. Play with it. You're just playing around. You're just writing this down. If you take it too seriously, you go, oh, it's not going to come out right. I'm not going to write it. Don't worry about it. Have fun, enjoy, be playful. Be playful because when children read the book, they want that sense of play in there. Just they'll be able to pick up your joy when you're writing it when they read your book. So enjoy the process. And the second thing I got to tell you is writing the book is step one. Step two goes on for the rest of your life if you wanted to. And that is what people call promoting your book.
Hmm.
I call it sharing and revealing it.
Hmm.
Because promoting, I'm not a business person. That's why I'm very happy when the publishers sold my books or now my children. I'm not the least bit interested in that aspect. My whole thing is about getting the messages out into the world, which I think you're the same way, Sherry.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. I am.
exactly. So that's it. So I love sharing and revealing about my book. I don't get tired of this ever talking about my book. So every single day I'm doing it and I'm never wasting time
Mm.
because it doesn't matter to me how many copies of the books get sold. No, every moment is wonderful because I'm getting my message across to at least one person, at least you're listening.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I love it. So, and also I'm an introvert. So, as much as I love giving the presentations with my children and everything, what I can't do is stand with a table someplace selling my books. Now, extroverts might love doing that. They love being at a fair or with other authors. Oh my goodness. I couldn't last 3 minutes doing that. It's so
Hmm.
not me. So
Hmm.
everybody has to find the way that they enjoy sharing and revealing about their book, and then they'll never get burnt out. They'll never tired of it. They'll never get tired of it, and they'll never waste a minute doing it because you're having a wonderful time the whole time. So find what you enjoy doing to let people know about your book and then just keep doing that. And you may find some other things you enjoy doing, add that on, but don't do the things you don't enjoy too much because that's going to feel very draining, like you're
Yeah.
wasting time. There's an infinite number of ways you could let people know. So just pick your favorite ones.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier about the 20 years and 20 minutes. I love that. I love that. So, like you said, just to jot down your ideas and your outline, what is your process? Because, sometimes people are afraid of what they believe a writing process is. But as a writer, I find that people's processes are individual,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So, what's your process?
My process has been, let's say, a great example is the Let's Stay Healthy book. So somebody calls me and they say, we really need a book like this. As soon as you could write a book like this, how to be healthy, how can children enjoy being healthy? So I said, that's a great idea. I just don't know how to write this book. So 3 days later, I wake up and I keep a pad by my bed with a pen. 3 days later, I wake up. It's still dark. So I'm scribbling away in the dark and I've got the title. I've got exactly how to write the book. Like the whole book is basically written. And whatever I could read by the morning, I could read. It's like, to me, it's like rain that's pouring down. I have to just catch the drops. I believe that we're channels, from source energy. All of this creative energy is flowing. We just have to catch it. So that's it. I just feel like I'm a channel. And when when I'm open to it, then the ideas flow.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I tell people too, for me, it's the same kind of thing. When somebody asks me to write something, I don't do it at gunpoint. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't just have me. I have to think on it, and it will come to me. And when it comes, it comes. Like you said, it's like a rain, and you just kind of jot it down, and then as you jot it down, the space fills in itself. So yeah, it's good to hear that, it's sort of the same thing with you. And like I said, I like to tell people, don't hurt yourself. Like if it it'll show up. What you want to write, it will show up. So yeah,
Right,
that's
exactly. If it's meant to be in the world, it will come. And
hmm
maybe it's not meant to come through us. We don't know. Nothing to stress about. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If it comes, it comes. Enjoy it.
hmm
There's things people ask me to write about. I don't get excited about it. I say, go to somebody else. I'm not the one for this, you know?
hmm
But
hmm
but sometimes it just comes in a beautiful way. And and like I was saying, the children and the adults, anyone reading the book can pick up the joy in between the lines. So so have it be a joyful experience. And even the editing process. Once you've written it, then you need to edit it. And again, do that like a crossword puzzle or whatever you enjoy doing. I'll try this word, I'll try that word, what fits better. Don't take it too seriously. Play around like you would with a crossword puzzle. Try this or that piece, and see how it goes. So,
Exactly. Exactly. Wow, that's great to know that, it's the process is what it is. I've written things before where people have come to me like, "Oh, I love what you wrote and this," and I'm like, "I wrote that?" You know what I mean? Like I don't even remember. Like once it's done,
yes,
on to the next thing. Like you said, you don't take it so seriously, and
beautiful.
yeah. So, tell us about your latest one, your latest book.
Uh,
Like you said, that's for adult. That's mainly for adults.
oh, that one. That's Nourish the Soul is my memoir. This book is not a regular book because I don't write long things. This book, I just compiled it. I actually found my diaries from that I started at age 12. I took excerpts from it. And then when I got older, I called it a journal. So there's excerpts from my diaries, then my journals, and letters that I wrote home. And I filled in just the missing pieces. And
Mm-hmm.
it's ages 12 to 32. It's it's more like an experience than a book because you actually go through it with me. It's it's you watch me slowly developing food addictions and then
Mm-hmm.
how I healed from it. And but you see it through the entries themselves. So it's like there's very little commentary. It's just raw and candid and a lot of very open pain. And
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted it out there because an addiction, any addiction, it's done in secret.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how you're suffering. Nobody, because that's it's a compulsive behavior that is causing you harm, and you continue to do it despite the harm it's causing. So I'm very open in this book, just because I write it to help other people, and thank God it's doing that, because when you share what's going on in your life openly, and then you don't have these skeletons in your closet anymore, it frees other people up to open up themselves as well and heal.
Is
Yeah.
there anything from the book you'd like to share? Like any passage or I
And
know we
you know what? Okay, let me just tell you this. It's called Nourish the Soul, and the subtitle is Filling the Emptiness Within.
mm,
That's what happened to me. I recognized that only when I started to heal did I recognize that hole that we try to fill with externalities more and more desperately with an addiction, it never helps because it's not a physical hole. It's
yeah.
a it's a spiritual hole. And what I learned is to fill it with gratitude.
Mm,
Gratitude fills that hole. Nothing else works. That is what fills the hole. And that's what I'm sharing with other
mm.
people and with children too, through all my books, teaching them gratitude skills as early in life as possible so they don't have to play catch up like the rest of us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, lastly, what is the most important piece of advice you give someone who might be considering? I know you said that your children are running the publishing house, but working with family, like it's a family business. And a lot of times we go at things
Yes.
alone, or we have members of our family that are just like, I'll help you when I can. But how important is it to work with family?
Oh my gosh. I would never have thought this could happen. This is amazing, you know? And the fact that they want to take my messages even further out into the world is so gratifying to me. It's like beyond my dreams, you know?
Mm,
That's how I
yeah.
feel about it. I really pray that everybody can have an experience like this. And I know I spent many years putting really my whole soul into my children, and I feel so grateful that they appreciate it now and that they're taking it further. So,
Mm. That's nice. That's nice. So we've talked about how, well, no, tell us how somebody can get in touch with you. Like if they're interested in getting some of looking at your, your books and maybe even talking to you for inspiration, how can somebody get in touch with you?
thank you so much. Yeah, my website is the best way. And my daughter-in-law is my filter, you know, now, so she it works so beautiful, and she does all the things I don't want to do, you know. It works out really great. And
Mhm.
so it's www.getzbookshop.com, and there's a lot of interesting things on there. Oh, really important, everybody can download a free copy of a chart called the Pleasure Ladder. It talks about the 5 levels of gratitude and how we can bring them into our life at any moment. This is really important. We call it the Pleasure Ladder.
Mhm.
This is not it. This is just the basics of it. But the ladder that you can download is very clear. It's something people can hang on their fridge or
Mm.
their cabinet when they feel like overeating. You look at this and you go, wait a minute. I don't really need to eat the whole container of ice cream. I really just want lasting pleasure. That's why I keep overeating. How can you bring lasting pleasure into your life? And it's through all the natural physical joys in this world. How can you bring through creativity, doing something meaningful? All of this, it nourishes our souls.
Mm.
It nourishes our genuinely hungry souls, because we look like we're just physical beings, but the essence of us is spiritual. We're just clothed in these physical bodies. So in order to fully shine, we have to nourish both our bodies and our souls. And
Wow.
that's really my whole purpose right now.
Hmm.
So
That's the core of
yeah,
it.
sharing
Well,
that.
yeah, well, Bracha, I thank you so much for being here. This has been an enlightening and fun conversation. Um, yeah, it's always good to talk to another writer. And when I say writer, I mean a lot of people, sometimes I feel hesitant to call myself that. Although I've been writing my whole career and everything like that, you often think about, oh, I don't have a Pulitzer. But that's not what it's all about. There's ways through writing and words you connect with others. So as long as that connection is made and is there, like we're connecting right now, and I want the listeners to connect with us too, I think it's a wonderful thing. So I appreciate you visiting and guesting and being here on Mature Allure. It's been awesome. And I am going to download that pleasure ladder because that sounds like something fun to do.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, one more thing I want to say. People don't have to buy the books. If they don't have money, you can ask your library to order them. That's
Mm,
a perfectly great way to get the message out in the world, keep it going. So, books, many libraries have my books, and other libraries could get them, and you just keep it going that way too. So that's another way to do things. And I want to say, like, your book, I looked at it, is so beautiful, about the butterfly. And that
mhm,
I write about a butterfly in my book too, because that process of metamorphosis, of change, is so awesome. So
mhm.
so and what you write about is character development, and you have worked with children so much. So I hope that you'll be writing more and more,
Well, thank
and
you.
getting your important messages out, because we're working on the same mission, to
Hmm.
make children happy, healthy, safe in this world, and just make our world a more wonderful place to live in. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Well, Bracha Goetz, I appreciate you being here. See, I got it.
Thank you so much.
We will chat later, and thank you again for being a guest on Mature Allure.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Mature Allure. For more information about us, visit matureallure.net and get social with us on Instagram and YouTube at mature.allure, Facebook at @4matureallure, and Twitter at mature_allure. Till next time, we encourage you to stay positive, embrace who you are at every stage of your life, and always tap into your mature allure.